Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Armenians. Are they good? Well, hello there everybody, welcome to the campaign map with Armenia. Yes, I do have everything showing, but it is what it is. These guys, of course, the siblings of Parthia, they're very similar. Even in terms of a starting location, they're kind of similar. So let's get going. How do these guys start? So they have two settlements over here. They have Kotais with 4,500 people and Artaxata with 5,000 people. They are actually quite big in terms of population at the start of the game. They have a very weak starting army here. You can see that. They have a baby settlement right here, and it is contested by the Parthians, so that might be a problem. They are starting with 3,000 denarii, and they are making only about 140 per turn. However, if you get everything up to very high tax rate, we have, of course, a income of 966, about 1,000 denarii that you can get from them. Then, of course, they start with the ability to recruit some horse archers, some horsey pajama boys. And of course, pajama warriors right there, they suck. So I wouldn't really recruit them. I would only recruit horsey archer, horsey boys, pajama dudes. And of course, a unique thing about the Armenians and maybe even the Pontus, it's the terrain over here. They have a couple of mountain passes to go to Scythia, a couple of mountain passes to go to to Pontus, and also some mountain passes to go to the Seleucids. So any invading force will have to come through these. So you have the help of the terrain for defense of your main land, and trust me, you are going to need it for sure. So this is their starting situation. They start very poor with very low money, only two settlements but good population. Starting army weak, access to horse archers. They have to hurry up to take Fraspa, and the terrain is kind of good to defend over on this side of the map, not against the Parthians. Strategy and tactics wise, let's get to this section of the video. Here, I would usually put a map right up on the top left corner and tell you could go here, you could go there, you could go other places, but in reality, with the Armenians, there's not a lot of choice. Now, let me argue about this. Of course, that you can say you could go north, east, west, and south, but I really don't think so. And here's why. If you try to go up here, this is the only army you have, by the way, and then you have one unit of horse archers here. You have 2 units of horse archers here, so you're gonna have to watch out for that. So, I will take at least 6 turns to get any of these places, maybe 7 turns. So Scythia is not an option, because as soon as you get there, they will have way more than 3 units to defeat you, alright? So that's a problem. Mass horse archers is very strong, but having just maybe 6 units of horse archers is not going to be enough, because you're going to get there and they will have way more units. So no, especially if you're playing in very hard difficulty, okay? Or hard difficulty. Then we have here Pontus. Well, yeah, you take at least 4 turns, and I would argue 5 turns, because I would definitely want to take these 2 horse archers as well as these, and they will take all at least 5 turns. Like, look at this. To get here, 5 turns, right? You have the purple there, 5 turns. So you could only get to Sinop by turn 5, and by turn 5 they can have 5 more units in here, so you would have to deal with 12 units, which is maybe a bit too much for 6 units of horse archers, I would argue. So that's not an option either. And then you could maybe try to come for the Seleucids. Yeah, you could. That one is probably the only one that you could. You could get there in 4 turns with the 6 cavalry archer units, but you will have to deal with the Parthians advancing on you at the same time, and again, your economy is pretty weak. as you start. So you'd probably need, maybe to just recruit maybe 5-6 units of horse archers here. You could go to Hatra, but then you're gonna be sandwiched between Seleucia and Antioch. The Egyptians are gonna be here. They might declare war on you, and the Parthians will maybe push from Arsacia over to Artaxarta, and that is going to be very, very difficult to manage. So I don't think this is a viable option either. Maybe if you're wanting to do something different with them, but not if you really, if you're just like, okay, let's just win this. So if realistically speaking, the only real option, the easiest and the real option that you have as the Armenians is to quickly take out Arsacia. And how are you gonna do this? You need to take Frost, but you're gonna be there at turn 3. With the help of these two guys at turn 3, you can take Frostbite easily, and maybe also take the Cataphracts. As soon as that happens, you will probably have 3 more or 2 more Horse Archer units. So you just you support that with 2 more Horse Archer units, and then you can defeat this army over here. They will probably have a couple more units, but hopefully it's just Pajama Warriors, and you're going to be able to take them out, and then you take Ursakia with the remaining troops. If you are actually skilled at playing with Horse Archers, you can probably just defeat them with relative ease and take Arsakia with a big army still. So you will not be losing a lot of a lot of units, I think. Okay, so that for me is the strategy guide, man. So let's go and take a look at the good and the bad of the Armenians. Now, the good. Let's start with the good, yeah, because we have something to talk about in the bad. We have quite a bit to talk in the bad part of this. So, positioning. The position, as we have spoken on the start location, yeah, it's pretty decent. It's very defensible, okay? So, mountain passes 1, 2, 3, 4 that the Scythians can take. About 1, 2 that the Seleucids can take. 1, 2, maybe even 3 over here that the Seleucids, either Pontus, can take over to this side, and then you only have one real side that the Parthians are going to attack you, and there's only this region over here that they can actually go through. So yeah, definitely that's something to take into consideration. Now they have a law temple and they have a the law buildings. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. But I don't think they are great, but at least they have the law thing. We have the Temple of Vahagan, 20% happiness over here. They have upgrade to light weapons, experience to troops, upgrade to armor. Yeah, I would build this in my capital maybe. While the public order is not an issue, and then I would switch for one of the other two. Here, the Temple of Anahid, it's just a flat bonus to happiness, and then the Temple of Armazd is a flat bonus to happiness, and Law 2020, split and a half. And then, of course, you have the police network, the law enforcement buildings, that gives you a plus 20% public order boost, which is nice. It's nice to have the law buildings to boost your economy late game when you have a lot of corruption on faraway lands. So you're definitely in need of the law over here. So this is it as far as temples go. They have a military temple and they have a law temple. Don't use the Temple of Anahid because it's exactly the same as the Temple of Armazd, except they have the public order due to law. Alright, so, and I'd rather have the law other than the happiness, and you get the same amount of happiness. Or the same amount of public order. Anyway, next pro is that they have a very strong late game cavalry, as we have seen on the battle video, which is going to be linked right now on the top right corner. You can see all of their units, and you can see how strong is their cataphracts and cataphract archers. All right, you're gonna have to take a look at that because they're really good. What's the bad things about them? What's really the bad about the Armenians? And the Armenians have, man, probably one of the weakest economies in the game, right up there with, or right down there with Parthia and Numidia, which we will talk about in a future video, Numidia. They have a very weak early game roster, and the only good unit that you have is really the Horse Archer. It's the same as the Parthians, really, but I think the economy is weaker than the Parthians' economy, actually. So, but you will be just recruiting Horse Archers. You will not be recruiting any other units. That's just the thing. And then they are surrounded by 4 enemies. I think that is a big one as well. Being surrounded by Pontus, Scythia, Seleucids, and Parthia, this is not going to be easy. The Parthians are going to attack you very, very soon. Then it's going to be Pontus, then it's going to be the Seleucids, and then finally the Scythians will eventually attack you, especially if you start expanding. So that is why I think that you need to take out as many enemies as fast as possible. So the easiest enemy to take out is the Parthians. Of course, they do have Camposakai out there, but ignore that for now, because if you take both Arsacia and Susa, the Parthians will be defeated for sure, because I really doubt they can come back from Camposakai, even though it's not impossible. Alright, it's the Parthians after all. They are the true pajama warriors. Anyway, of course, and lastly but not least, they only have up to 60% public order, as we have just seen. So with that said, this is how it ends. All right, we will now pick a tier for the Armenians. And I think this is a tough one, right? Because Armenia has a pretty good pretty good game cavalry units, and I think they are really, really good, man. I like it. However, for them to get to the late game, they first have to go through the early game, and the problem in the early game, weak army, weak economy, surrounded by enemies. That is not a good combo. That is a powder keg that is ready to explode on the Armenians' face. Yes, they have a good position, but again, being surrounded by 4 enemies and having a weak economy means you cannot defend all of your borders. They have the law temples and the buildings. Yes, that means you can make money in the late game, but then again, you have to get there, and you get only up to 60% public order, which means that in the late game, you'll have to have more units in order to keep your public order going, and even then, there will come a point where you cannot do it. All right, or maybe you can minimize that by not building farms and stuff like that, but still it's kind of tough. And of course they have the very strong late game cavalry, but it's what we said, they have to get there first. So I think that when the AI plays them, they will most always get defeated, right? They are even worse. They are very much worse than Pontus here, because Pontus sometimes can rise up and conquer everything. Like I had a campaign where they conquered Egypt and the Seleucids and Parthia. Like Pontus was super strong out here, and I've never seen Armenia do that. Probably because they are so weak in the early game, and that is definitely the biggest downside. As a player playing Armenia, you will probably be able to defeat the Parthians and actually be able to claim your little piece of the Eastern empires over here. The problem really is that this is not just about the player. This is also about um, the AI. And even as the player, this is a difficult faction to play as, because you need to know how to play with horse archers, because if you don't use the horse archers all that much, you will very likely be defeated by the Seleucids, by Pontas, especially when they start getting pikemen, because your infantry is not good, especially not good against pikemen. So that is going to be it. So what is the tier? What tier am I going to put them? Are they worse or as good as the Parthians? And as you can see, the Parthians are at the C tier. Are the Armenians even harder than the Parthians? Are they even worse than the Parthians on the campaign? And I would say yes, they are. I think Armenia is going to be, I don't think, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a D tier, guys. D tier right there with the Thracians. And why? Weak economy, weak units, surrounded by 4 enemies. Late game, you can have really powerful units, but you will also waste a lot of your budget on public order issues, on your furthest regions from your capital. And even though you can have a law temple, having that 60%, only 60% public order boost is terrible. So D tier for Armenia, guys. Yeah, let me know if you agree with this. If you don't, please share why in the comments below, and let's have a conversation about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. If you agree with me and you like this video, both of those, subscribe as well. I bet you've been seeing the subscribe thingy pop up, pop in and out. Let's make the channel grow. Let's help me get this information out there, because I am planning to do more. I am planning to do videos about the wonders, videos about, random things like migrations, like peasants. Let's talk about peasants. Nobody talks a lot about peasants, right? So I am very excited to do all of those videos, and the rate that the videos come out might slow down a little bit, but I want to make better content, so I think it will be totally worth it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much.